It's Mike Florio from ProFootballTalk.com. You can watch him every night at 5:30 Eastern on NBCSN. Let me start with Adrian Peterson here. What kind of movement do we have or do you expect to have on this?
None so far, and that's what amazes me, Dan. Whatever the decision is, they need to move quickly. There's a football season going on. There are competitive issues at play. The Vikings are unexpectedly 4-5. How much better would they be with Adrian Peterson back? I get the impression the NFL is going to take its good old time. Anybody else who's suspended during the season, they expedite it. If a guy gets suspended for an illegal hit on a defenseless receiver, they expedite it. They come to a conclusion. I talked to Peterson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, yesterday, and he said all it takes is a plane flight. He wants to get everybody in a room and work this out. They worked it out quickly when the objective was to get Adrian off the field. Now they should work it out quickly when the objective is to figure out when he's going to return. I'm astounded that they haven't done anything yet, 2 days after the case resolved, to move this thing forward.
But what kind of options do you see here as far as a suspension, a fine, or anything?
Well, he's missed 8 games with pay. He's got to get credit for the fact that he's missed 8 games. Could they take away the 8 game checks that he received while he was suspended with pay? Maybe. That would be an expensive punishment, but maybe that's what you do. Maybe you just don't pay him the rest of the year. 7 game checks forfeited. He's allowed to come back. Whatever the case may be, they need to make a decision quickly. And they can't say they were surprised by this. The range of possible outcomes when a guy is indicted, plea agreement is fairly high on the list. They should have known there was a possibility he was going to work something out, and he was facing a trial date of December 1. So the idea that they're not really prepared to deal with this, that's disappointing.
The Ray Rice case and the fact the commissioner spent 2 hours in there testifying, or whatever the term is this more about the commissioner of the NFL or about Ray Rice?
Well, it's a combination. It was an opportunity for the NFL Players Association to grill the commissioner. And in the legal system, in the legal world, 2 hours really is not a long time to testify. He was questioned under oath in that Super Bowl ticket fiasco case from Dallas for 7.5 hours. Wow. So 2 hours really isn't much, and it tells me that the judge presiding over this thing, former judge, may have limited the areas of inquiry. It may only be about whether or not Ray Rice lied to the NFL. It may not be about what the NFL did or didn't do or should have done or shouldn't have done when it came to getting that video. The focal point may only be, did Ray Rice lie? And that would suggest a shorter period of questioning, and really 2 hours is fairly short.
But is there going to be an investigation into the investigation?
Well, I think what's going to happen, Dan, Robert Mueller, the guy who's handling the investigation, he's going to want to see, or he needs to want to see, the entire transcript from the hearing in this Ray Rice appeal, because you want to compare what people said under oath to what they said to you when you interviewed them, and if there's any discrepancy, do we need to follow up? Is somebody not telling the truth? Is it inadvertent? Is it deliberate? This thing makes the rabbit hole potentially deeper if what people say while under oath doesn't mesh with what they said when they were interviewed as part of the investigation.
If the Vikings had a game this weekend, would the NFL have ruled or reacted?
I don't think so, because I don't get the impression they're going to make a decision by next Tuesday. That's ideally when you'd want to have a decision in advance of their next game at Chicago, November 16. It's just, whatever the decision, I don't know why you can't make one. I don't know why this has to take any time at all, especially when we see how quickly other things move when the NFL wants to move quickly.
Well, it's also bad PR that you're almost damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't do anything, people are going to react. And then if you do, then people are going to say, hadn't he already been punished? Same thing with Ray Rice. I think Ray Rice has got a great case because I think he's been punished twice. Look, the commissioner went light on him. That's on him. That's not on Ray Rice. So unless they say, boy, you ambiguous or you lied, then you're going to punish him again. But I think Ray Rice has got a good case here.
Hey, Dan, I think the NFL was so stung by the criticism in the wake of the initial Ray Rice suspension, even before we saw the video. The response and reaction to the 2-game suspension, where it was unanimous that wasn't nearly enough. I think the NFL is so worried about further criticism that they're putting that above what should be fair processes. And I think they should trust the fans and us in the media to understand that these issues are bigger than what the guys did. These are questions about fairness, consistency, transparency, and what kind of rules we're going to have in place to determine when guys are suspended, when they're not suspended. And those issues are bigger than what Ray Rice did or what Adrian Peterson did.
Oh, one other thing with Peterson, the whole pot admission for Adrian Peterson, is that factored in? Is there any ramifications with that?
I think the worst that could do, Dan, is it would get him in stage one of the substance abuse program and expose him to random testing. If you're not in the program, you're tested once a year. And once you're clear, you can smoke all you want until the window opens the following year. So I don't think that's a big issue. The bigger issue is what's the NFL going to do, especially because this Peterson thing is being determined in the aftermath of the Rice case.
I don't think it says it in the language you can smoke all you want in that window.
Well, no, it doesn't.
I know,
it doesn't. Technically, it doesn't. But as a practical matter, as long as the pot doesn't fall out of your jacket, like Greg Brady's cigarettes, that one goes way back. But as long as you don't do something stupid like hand your weed over to someone from the NFL, you don't get tested again until the next year.
Thank you, Mike.
See you, bud.
Mike Florio.